Hello everybody and welcome back to the coverage here of the Optegra Premiership Game Week 3. My name is Charlie McClellan. I'm joined on commentary by Dean Williams. Dean, how are you?
Charlie, morning. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. I'm excited for what will be a really good game here between Aspire PFC and Villa Rockets.
Me too.
We just had the toss in the centre of the court between the two captains. It looks like Villa are going to line up with Ali, Lewis, Lynch and Allen. Aspire with Dixon in goal, Boulding in the centre, McClellan on one wing and Hodgson on the other. We are nearly ready to go here. And we are underway. So Boulding takes it in the centre of the court immediately. Dean, what are you expecting from this one?
I'm looking forward to this one, actually, because we're starting to see some very productive signs coming out of Villa in terms of some of the performances I saw yesterday and some of their results. Aspire had that hiccup yesterday and immediately responded, which I saw some of that game, Charlie, so I was impressed with that reaction. John Boulding was great in that game in terms of his leadership, but you could see how hurt he was amongst the other players. There you go. I'll let you take that one over, Charlie.
There's a goal for Aspire very early on. It was actually a bit of positional rotation between the players. John Boulding was the one who ended up out on the left-hand wing, played it back in, Rosie Hodgson across to Dan McClellan, who just found that splitting pass with the front of the chair and managed to get it in to the back of the goal. I mean, John Boulding doesn't often score from wide positions.
No.
Bit of an unusual one, but he'll take it.
Right on cue when I was talking about his leadership, Charlie. Look at that.
What's the opposite of the commentator's curse? Like,
I don't know.
And I know that will be massive for Aspire. A lot of the talk pre-game was about the need to get an early goal to try and open up what was going to be a very robust Villa defence. So
yeah, that makes sense. Let's go commentator's blessing.
Yeah. Lynch in there to challenge John Boulding. Boulding has to recover. John Dixon in goal. Very much a player that can play in a plethora of positions. He played yesterday morning against Leeds on the wing, but has now taken the goalkeeper jersey. There's just a bit of a battle in the Aspire penalty area. England captain comes away with the ball and now potentially has a chance to open up Villa Rockets. It's a good pass. Dave Lewis cuts it out. Allen now with a spin. Nice pass out to the wing, but McClellan gets there first. Dan McClellan will take a touch. Back in towards the centre, just the wrong side of Boulding. Aspire recycle it with John Dixon. Aspire playing a very aggressive front-footed style early on in this game. John Dixon really taking the game to Dave Lewis here. Lewis gets the flick and it will be a 2-on-1, but advantage played by Mark Harrison, the referee. Dixon again into the challenge and kick in for Aspire. The goalkeeper's getting very involved early on in this game.
Yeah, very much so. He's very versatile, isn't he, Dixon?
Yeah, got a lot of great attributes, and I know that's why Aspire were really happy when they were able to sign him in the summer from Throstles.
Yeah.
Certainly a player that deserves to play at one of the top sides in the division. Allen gets clear. Hodgson into contact. Can't quite get the push. Strong play from Bobby Allen, and so it will be a kick in on the left.
We should say congratulations to Rosie, shouldn't we, after her... Was it 200 goals she reached?
Yes, she did.
Congratulations, Rosie.
Two-on-one against Aspire, so a chance from this set piece, indirect. very defensive setup from Aspire. They've got 3 players in a line back there. Dixon's the first into contact. Allen now drives it wide and flick it through. Dave Lewis is behind him. And a 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire allows them to relieve some of that pressure that was building upon themselves.
Yeah. Cracking start. They'll be very happy with that Aspire, won't they?
Yeah, they knew how much that goal would mean to them, and it's advantage. Hodgson gets the ball across. Now Alan McClellan's going to pick it off. Now a chance for Hodgson to strike it. Goal saved by Ali. It comes back out to Hodgson. Using the back of her chair now. It will just roll out for a goal kick. Unlucky.
Aspire will smell opportunity today, Charlie, based on the fact that West Brom have a difficult set of fixtures. And it's important that Aspire, and obviously one of the teams that they will be playing is West Brom today, so it's important that they try and have a very successful day, and hope that West Brom slip up a little bit if they're going to keep in that contention with them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big game for Aspire, but I know that they're very much taking it a game at a time, and I think the 9:15 slot on a Sunday morning can be a really risky one, especially when you're playing a team like Villa who are so solid defensively. A bit of tiredness, there's not maybe that same energy that you get at sort of 1 o'clock, midday. You have to sort of create it yourself, and so starting a game fast like this will be a massive positive for Aspire. Here's John Boulding trying to dribble it through. It will fall to Dan McClellan. He'll just see it out for a corner kick. Boulding fires at the near post. Goal kick.
That's just looked at John's reaction there. I mean, that was a very good strike. He almost wanted that. He's looking for inch-perfect precision there from Dan McCullough on pass. I mean, I can't. Part of me absolutely loves that eye for detail. It's got to be bang on, and we know that this elite level, Charlie. That's often the case.
Yeah, and I think all of the players know that they're capable of playing that sort of perfect pass. And so when they don't reach that level, they're obviously disappointed as McClellan smashes down the line. Wins a kick in.
So as we stand right now, Charlie, just looking at the live table on the, I should promote this again, WFA scoreline app. We've literally got Aspire 3 points from West Brom, who currently occupy first place, Aspire in 4th. It's so tight.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that at this point in the season, 4th to 1st is only separated by a win, essentially.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic end to the season.
And Newcastle in 5th are 1 point behind Aspire. It's just extraordinary.
You almost hope that all of these teams just keep dropping points to each other, so that by the last weekend we've got as many of them in it as possible.
Well, of course, as a totally unbiased hat on, the reality is that is what's part of making a superb season, isn't it? So, we want it to go right to the wire, and ideally, lots of clubs involved in the mix, which looks like it will continue to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, none of them will be intending to drop off, that's certain.
Yeah.
I mean, the viewership on the final weekend will go through the roof if it's still that sort of 5-horse race that it's looking like right now, as Hodgson spins and strikes. McClellan takes a touch off the chair of Bobby Allen, formerly of Nomad Knights, made his move to Villa in the summer and growing into his time in a Villa shirt.
He had a good day yesterday, Bobby Allen. Really good day.
Lynch, Boulding with the full spin. Lewis. Boulding. Now Hodgson has the chance to play it across. Blocked well by Dave Lewis. Very experienced in the centre to read that pass. And contact now between Hodgson and Lynch. Seen as bumper to bumper. It's going to be a kick in for Aspire though. Boulding has it in the centre, flicks across towards McClellan, who uses his captain deep, gets around Allen, and there'll be a 2-on-1 in the centre for Aspire. Looking like they will be carrying on from where they left off with that 3-0 win over Greenbank yesterday afternoon. Obviously tougher for Greenbank without Marcus Harrison this weekend.
Yeah, I said it yesterday, Charlie. We wish Marcus a speedy recovery, but it was noticeable. That's nothing against the rest of the quality that's in Greenbank. But when you take, as we all know, and we all say this all the time, when you've got 4 players on court and you've got someone like Marcus Harrison as a superstar, 25% down in terms of that quality, and that's a big miss, right? It's the same for anyone. John's an obvious example to use. Take John out of Aspire, and it's more difficult. It's more difficult.
I think if you take Marcus Harrison out of any team,
yes,
they'd miss him, to be honest.
Yeah, great player,
fantastic footballer. As here's Rosie Hodgson attempting a 2-touch. Actually flicks up quite nicely for the Aspire attacker. Boulding now. It's recycled out wide to Dan McClellan, who just pushes through. Contact against Dan McClellan. That's his second one. That's a warning, I think. I mean, two very similar fouls in the space of 2 minutes. Yeah. Lacking a bit of subtlety there, Dan McClellan.
I'm going to let you say that one, Charlie.
The Villa Rockets will be looking to carry on a winning weekend if they can turn this one around. Obviously both picking up 6 points yesterday. 1-0 win over Greenbank and a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough. Here's John Boulding out, similar in the position to which the first goal came from. Hodgson, Lewis and Hodgson battling in the penalty area. It's Bobby Allen, McClellan quick into challenge. Lynch drives away with the ball. McClellan still battling away, and Lynch is going to find way down the line. Last touch off John Boulding. A kick in one deep in Aspire territory.
I should say a welcome to Liam Lynch as well. It's his first weekend debut playing for Villa. Got introduced to him yesterday and asked him about the pace of the game, and he seems to be absolutely loving it. Helps when you're winning, of course.
Yes. Yeah, it started very well here, Liam Lynch. Especially in the dribble, causing John Boulding and John Dixon serious issues at the back.
He's a busy little player, isn't he? Busy player.
Very much, and with wings of Bobby Allen and Liam Lynch, there's definitely potential to make stuff happen at any time in a game. And of course, as I say that, Bobby Allen's withdrawn. So I'll have a word with the Villa coaches and tell them.
That's
tell
the
them
curse.
For that. Yeah, the commentator's curse.
So I give blessings, Charlie. You give curses. That's what we've established here.
Summer Rice is on to replace Bobby Allen. Liam Lynch with the ball across. Dave Lewis has another chance. Dixon at the edge of the area. It's going to be a 2-on-1. Rice just caught in a bit of an awkward position there. Cleared by Aspire. Lots of conversations going on between the Villa Rockets players and coach as well. Seem to be trying to devise a new tactic to break down Aspire in this game. Taking their time to up before this kick in. Boulding's ready to go, get straight into contact with Dave Lewis and finds it as well, just steals it off his bumper. John Boulding in a good position now. Hodgson, Boulding, readjusts, then plays the forward pass. It's John Boulding again. Liam Lynch again steals in, and a really good touch around Boulding will cause him an issue. Recovers well, does the England captain. Game being played at a really good intensity in this first half.
It's a great game of football, isn't it? Great game of football. They'll be happy Spire to get their noses in front, I think. Villa, I think, are growing into this a little bit. Starting to get a bit. Sometimes when you play a giant like a Spy, you have to feel your way into the game a little bit, and there's a bit more belief that you can start to see within Villa at the moment.
Yeah, definitely in games like this, the longer it goes on 0-0, the more likely that becomes the final result. I mean, that feels like a very obvious thing to say, but
yeah, you are forgetting, of course, that Spy did score.
Yes. No, I mean, I was talking the hypothetical. That's what Spy would have been concerned about.
Yes.
I mean, it happened last year. One of the sort of main issues for Spy, which stopped them winning the title last year, was a 0-0 draw with Villa Rockets. First game on a Sunday.
Is that right?
Yeah. They just couldn't break them down, and it ended up being quite costly as Spy put together a nice move there. A few quick passes. They still got it. Hodgson uses the back of her chair to just guide it across the penalty area. Here's John Boulding. Boulding using the back of his chair to keep the ball. Sam McClellan's going to keep it in play. Now up against Dave Lewis. Hodgson. McClellan. John Boulding could have had a chance to do the same thing as the first goal, but didn't pick up the wide position. He'll be frustrated with that. A reprieve for Villa, because that was a nice passage of play from Aspire, really putting the pressure on.
Just on the other court, Charlie, update for our listeners. Teesside are 2-0 up against Frossels. So again, it's concertinaed it even more at the top. 1 point now separates first to third.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a ridiculous title race. Boulding, Dan McClellan, back to John Boulding, McClellan again, plays it across. Hodgson will have a chance to strike.
Ooh.
Dave Lewis just gets there. Got a very good eye for goal, Rosie Hodgson. Very rare that you watch her and think, oh, she could have shot there, but she didn't. Good finisher. Plays the ball across.
What a great pass.
It's a fantastic ball. Dan McClellan will be really frustrated with that. He'll expect himself to do better in that position. But it's clicking right now for Aspire, which, yeah, I think one of the terms used on commentary by Greg Battersby yesterday morning against Leeds is that it wasn't quite clicking. Well, seems to have ironed out that issue. They're moving the ball really nicely here.
Yeah.
McClellan will take a two-touch and back in towards Boulding. Contact on the edge of the area. Harrison thought about blowing his whistle but decided to let the game play. Contact again. Just against Rosie Hodgson. Eager to try and steal the ball off Dave Lewis in his penalty area, and a bit of experience used by Lewis to just win that free kick.
Got some experience, did he, Dave?
A lot of experience.
And it was a birthday boy a couple of days ago as well, so we should again wish Dave a happy birthday.
Sure he'll be hoping for a little birthday present in this second half maybe. But the first one creeps towards its close. Boulding now with the ball across. Lewis again wins it in the centre. Liam Lynch frustrated with his ability to control that one, but sets up immediately to try and challenge again. Hodgson in towards Bowling, powerful, tough for the England captain to control, but he's done it, and now McClellan across towards Bowling again, trying to get that passing move going. Dixon needed to try and get rid of the danger early. There's now a chance. Liam Lynch drives it against the post actually, and it stays in play. Dixon again. It's Summer Rice. It just comes off the back of his chair. Goal kick for Aspire into the last minute of this one. Overall, you'd say both teams will be relatively happy with their performances. That was one very early moment in the game that separates them right now in what's otherwise been a decently even affair.
Pretty even, isn't it? I think, that's the speed of the goal probably caught Villa out a little bit. Aspire exactly what they needed. As I said a few moments ago, I think Villa growing into the game, a bit more confidence running through their play, but Aspire look dangerous, don't they? They look really dangerous. They've had one or two really big moments outside of the goal as well.
So that's half time. It ends Aspire 1, Villa Rockets 0. Serious debate going on in the Aspire camp. I think about the defensive setup. They weren't happy with their positioning towards the end of that first half, but overall they'll be happy with the result. Villa Rockets really actually debating between themselves for that entirety of that first half.
Yes,
and
deep conversations going on there.
Yeah, both benches.
Yeah.
Very animated half time. It's what you want to see. Both teams will obviously feel that they can have a massive influence on this game in the second half.
Yeah.
And so we'll be back for that in just a few minutes to see whether Aspire will add 3 more points to their chase of the top 3 teams, or whether Villa Rockets will be able to spoil their party and carry on a winning weekend of their own. Back in a few. Hello everybody and welcome back to Court A here at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre for the second half of Aspire versus Villa Rockets in the Optegra Premiership. We are just about to kick off. The whistle has gone. Dave Lewis smacks it into the Aspire half and we're underway. Some very animated half-time team talks on both sides, Dean.
Definitely, 100%. A lot of focus. I mean, both teams there will look at that, regardless of which side you sit on, and think game's not over, right? So there's opportunity here for Aspire to put this to bed. There's also an opportunity. And
wow!
There you go. It's like on repeat in the first half.
What a strange goal. You don't really see that. Rosie, well, he was speaking about Rosie's eye for goal and just how she just loves a shot every now and again. And you know what? You don't shoot, you don't score. And a lot of I tell you what, for a side hit, we were right behind that hit.
Yeah.
That had a lot of power on it. A very, very impressive strike.
I think Aspire need to take a learn from this. If they get me to talk about them, they end up scoring, which is, again, I can't promise I'll always be able to do that. It certainly happened twice already.
Here's Dan McClellan in the centre of the court. Arley. Holding. Here's Hodgson. Holding again. Lewis. Kicking.
That goal, Charlie. Rosie almost looked surprised, didn't she?
I don't know whether... Listen, only Rosie will know what the intention was behind it. I think, you know, whether it was a pass towards the back post where Dan McClellan was potentially, I'm not sure. But either way, I mean, she's a fantastic contact with the ball and massively caught everyone off guard, including...
Or just surprised she had the space.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's quite unusual to have had that much space.
In the centre of the court, you'd expect it to be a bit more compact. So maybe it's just a bit of a hangover of half-time, you know. But that's now 2 times. I mean, that'll be a massive plus for Aspire and a massive problem for Villa Rockets. Is they'll be very frustrated that after kick-off twice, literally a minute and a bit after kick-off, a lapse in concentration has cost them. They need to re-evaluate that as Bobby Allen has a chance to strike. John Dixon comes out and meets it. It's definitely going to be a massive issue off the back of that.
This plays into Aspire's hands beautifully, doesn't it, really?
It really does. Dave Lewis. Here's Bobby Allen. Ball across, blocked by Dixon. Lewis again, he's going to spin, it's a miss. And then there's contact between Lewis and Hodgson, and a couple of crosswords as well between the two.
It happens.
Don't actually know what happened there, to be honest. It looked rather innocuous from where we were sat. They just both turned to try and chase after the ball and ended up colliding slightly.
Dave maybe a little bit frustrated with the spin and the fact he didn't get connection on it.
Kick in for Aspire, who will be looking to add to their tally already in this game. McClellan. Cut out by Allen.
Still 2-0 to Teesside. On the other court, Charlie.
Yeah. WFA scoreline app keeps you updated. I mean, get notifications on goals for any team that you have an interest in. Holding. McClellan across towards Hodgson, blocked by Lewis. Hodgson again. McClellan bounces up towards Arley in goal. It's now Rosie Hodgson, John Boulding. Again, Allen. McClellan trying to work his way in there. Dave Lewis spins out. Liam Lynch now challenging. Lynch. Holding. Last touch off Dave Lewis. Kick in for Aspire. Game's gone a tiny bit frantic in the last couple of minutes. Villa really trying to up the intensity and get a goal, which will put a bit of pressure on the Aspire lead. Aspire looking to extend that lead as forceful challenging in the area. Now it's Dan McClellan. Boulding, contact between Boulding and Lewis. Given against John Boulding. Bit in the wars, isn't he, Dave Lewis? But I guess
he is a little bit, isn't he? He is a little bit. I was smiling to myself, actually, for no other reason other than I would imagine how many times do you think, in the time that those two have known each other and played this sport, that's happened?
Yeah, I mean,
quite a few times.
Both players wear number 8, which is obviously the number synonymous with the centre player, and they're both
England
put
training
themselves about a lot. Yeah, England training at Throssell's. Dave Lewis used to pull all the strings like he's been doing today. Yeah, I mean, two players that know each other's inside and out.
You mentioned the scoreline app. I literally just looked at the next fixture. One of the next fixtures, second versus first, Leeds Chariots versus West Brom, both locked on 28 points. Wow.
Yeah, that'll be a fantastic game.
Which is why this result for Aspire is very important, because it just puts that pressure on, doesn't it? Because one, if not both of those teams will clearly be dropping points.
Indeed, they will. Here's John Boulding. Boulding. Lewis. Contact against John Boulding. So, next on the agenda for either of these two sides, Villa Rockets will have another say in the title race later on. They play Teesside. Aspire take on West Bromwich Albion, so two massively influential games, both 12:45 kickoffs. And then
big day.
Villa Rockets aren't done there. A 3-game Sunday, which is tough. Oh, I tell you what, first game and last game as well. They've got Nottinghamshire at 4:15.
Yeah, it's.
Don't envy that schedule at all.
Well, obviously it happens to clubs, doesn't it? They have to deal with that as they go through the season. So, yeah, that's a toughie.
Dan McClellan. Two on one. Dave Lewis. Cut out by Boulding. McClellan. Hodgson. Tried to play it back into Dan McClellan. Doesn't quite come off. Kick in for Villa Rockets. Lewis. Again, cut out. Aspire defending resolutely here. Dave Lewis. Cut up by the back of Dixon's chair. Bobby Allen has a shot of his own. Boulding. Let's dribble this out. Lynch gets around John Boulding. One-on-one now with John Dixon. Liam Lynch, well dealt with by John Dixon. Aspire now, it's a bit end-to-end. McClellan in towards Hodgson. Boulding, it'll be a kick in for Aspire. been moved around a lot in this game, Aspire. Quite often it's ended up with John Boulding out on one of the wings.
Yeah.
One of the wingers having to fill in the centre. More than happy to do so, though. Aspire is... We were talking actually about half-time about how Aspire always try and win a corner from those situations, and Dan McClellan just whacks it off the back of Ali's chair.
Yeah.
Takes a little touch off Dave Lewis and goes out for that corner kick. Dan McClellan didn't quite deliver it the way that he would have wanted in the first half. Will he do it here? Boulding just off the centre of his chair, not quite what he would have been looking for. Allen all the way up the court. Small bit of contact, nothing in the way of a foul, and then it will be a goal kick for Aspire, who would just be looking to see this out here.
Dave and John once again very close together.
Indeed.
No breathing space at all.
Not at all. As Bobby Allen actually got in there quite quickly. And so there will be a change for Aspire. Jordan Williams is coming on the wing to replace Rosie Hodgson. Good shift from Rosie Hodgson.
Yeah, very good.
John Boulding's not happy with something. Boulding. I just feel this game bubbling a little bit. It doesn't feel like we're going to be without another flashpoint before the end.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like that.
8 minutes remain.
I think Aspire managing the game, I think, very well. So for me, there's a little bit of frustration you start to see from Villa here as well. They are managing it very well. They can do that, can't they? I think the mark of a really good team is you can win a game in lots of different ways, and it doesn't always have to be free-flowing and fluent. Sometimes you need to dig in and be quite transitional in terms of how you play the game, and Aspire have definitely got that about them as well.
Yeah, I think
Makes it frustrating for teams.
they appear almost emotionless. That's when they're at their best, when it just looks like they are completely unfazed by what's going on in the court. I mean, McClellan, it's a good pass across. Jordan Williams, McClellan will have a shot, blocked by Ali. Here's Dave Lewis, holding out there to challenge Bobby Allen. Oh, just uses his experience. Off the chair of Allen. McClellan again looks to try and win that corner. This time Dave Lewis's chair was angled against it. Another kicking in a similar position. Here's Allen. Liam Lynch. Kick in for Aspire. Liam Lynch is going to go off. A productive morning's work from Liam Lynch.
Yeah, we used the word busy, didn't we, earlier on? He's been very, very busy.
There was never a clearance from Villa Rockets that wasn't being chased down by Lynch, trying to cause John Boulding and John Dixon in particular problems.
Yeah.
Summer Rice comes on. That will go out for a goal kick. Now McClellan. Here's Bobby Allen now. John Boulding. John Boulding. Up against Ali. Drives it wide. Williams is taken up a position in the centre. Boulding across to Dan McClellan. going to be contact against the Aspire captain.
Once again, Dave quite animated about that contact.
I feel like Aspire will be more than happy for a couple of seconds to trickle away every time.
Well, less than 5 to go, and I think if Villa have got any chance of getting back in this game, Charlie, it's got to happen soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like I say, I think Aspire are managing this game fantastically well. They don't look uncomfortable at all.
It's going to be a goal kick.
WWFA is 20 years old this year, celebrating our anniversary, which is quite some feat, isn't it? I think we've got 2 players on the pitch, correct me if I'm wrong, that have actually been playing for the entirety of the 20 years.
Yeah, you think so. I mean, I know John Boulding certainly has. He was
John
one of
definitely
the
has.
first, and Dave Lewis is incredibly experienced. You'd expect him to be on that list as well.
Well, if he's not, maybe Ali.
Oh, true, yeah.
I think that's probably true, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
know
good
that,
point.
so apologies if I've got that slightly wrong, but we may have 2, possibly 3.
I know that at least the 3 of them have been playing since I first encountered the sport.
They would have seen this sport grow and change and iterations of different chairs, and it's amazing, really. It's one of the things I love about the sport is actually the heritage of the sport in terms of how it's growing, which is great.
It developed in such like an authentic and organic way, led by the players and coaches.
100%.
Here's Boulding. Jordan Williams. Oh, what a ball that is.
Yeah.
And a great goal. What an absolutely fantastic pass from Jordan Williams.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him. He's only been on the pitch for a few minutes, but I think that's a devastating pass. And Dan McClellan doing what Dan McClellan does, getting on the score sheet.
Is that too? I mean, it was the controlling touch to steady himself there, and then just the way he went all the way around, the power, it was so accurate. And yeah, if you give an England international the ball in that position to strike into an empty goal, they will happily oblige.
Yeah. And I think it's deserved. I think we looked at the goal came, the second goal was very, very early, Charlie, wasn't it, in the second half, but we were complimenting Villa in terms of they seem to be growing in the game. That goal at the start of the second half has kind of killed them a little bit. And it's from that moment onwards, let's be fair, I think Aspire have managed the game beautifully and have been very comfortable, and the third goal just puts a bit of gloss on that scoreline, doesn't it?
Tom Kelly's going to get a couple of minutes of action here. John Dixon goes off after a very solid shifting goal. It was always a tough game like this when your team are in quite strong control. As a goalkeeper, you've got to be constantly concentrated, and that's what John Dixon was. So Dan McClellan is appearing to have taken up the central position for Aspire for these last couple of minutes, up against Dave Lewis here. Lewis, McClellan challenging right in the corner. McClellan plays in towards Jordan Williams, who I think accidentally plays it to the front post, but that probably was more successful than what he was going to attempt to do in the first place. Is now Ali drives it out. McClellan feigns a spin, 2-on-1 against Jordan Williams and Dan McClellan. As we creep into the final minutes of the game, I'm going to ask you, Dean, for your player of the match.
It's going to be an Aspire player, there's no question about that, and I think having scored the first goal, but we've talked about it a lot on comms, Charlie, I think John Boulding's leadership, it's certainly not the first time I or anyone else has said this, but I think he's, from a leadership perspective, he's driven this performance, the early start, the early goal, the management of the game, although everybody on the court deserves a little bit of credit for that. From a driving force perspective, I think John is so instrumental in that, so he gets my nod as player of the match.
think that's a fair pick. I wonder how many player of the match awards John Moulding has picked up over the years.
No idea.
I'm sure Jeff Lewis, obviously at the end of the game, each coach is asked to pick an opposition player of the match, and I wonder how many times John Moulding's received that. I'm sure that stat is somewhere on Jeff's computer.
Must be.
As here is Sally McNeil. Allen has a shot from Kelly. Dan McClellan just tries to play it around the corner. Still with Villa. Sally McNeil. Arley. It's got a bit chaotic as contact given against Dan McClellan. Just reverses into Allen. He's going to pick up a yellow card for his troubles as well. I mean, he's been quite well behaved since those 2 fouls in the first half. It's been frustrating to him to pick it up so late on in the game.
Yeah, just a few seconds left. We're now into added time, but it's accumulation that, I think, Charlie, more than anything else.
So a chance for Villa. Played across. Dan McClellan atones for giving away the foul by blocking it. And then that is full time. So it ends Aspire 3, Villa Rockets 0. They beat Greenbank 3-0 yesterday. They're carrying on that form, heading into a massive game against West Bromwich Albion later. For Villa, they have to get ready and go again. They've got 2 more games today on what promises to be a very long but potentially very rewarding Sunday. They'll rest and recuperate, take positives out of it, I'm sure. Dean, any final thoughts on that?
No, both games, just looked at the other court, Teesside have been victorious as well, so both opening games of the Sunday of our game week 3, they've gone according to form, which makes it all very interesting. Said already, Charlie, I think Aspire managed the game very well. The moment that second goal goes in the start of the second half, very difficult for Villa from that point onwards, and they never really recovered from it, did they? They didn't look likely to get back into the game. That's not for the lack of any endeavour or effort, but Aspire managed that really well. So really well deserved 3 points. Certainly.
So as 2 title challengers leave the courts, Teesside on 1 and Aspire on another, 3 step on. Leeds and West Brom will be playing in a massive game, first versus second here on Court A, and on Court B, Newcastle will be quietly going about their business. They've got Nottinghamshire on that one. We'll be back shortly for more Optegra Premiership action, but for now it's goodbye. Thank you, Dean, for joining us.
Thank you, Charlie.